Hello. He calls me his child. Dusty Rose, child. Dusty Rose. Yeah, I kept telling myself, first I should finish one of the 2 books I'm reading. And then it just kept poking me to do this one also. And so here I am again with 3 books running at a time. Now, I'm going to do this about video based off of my memory of reading this a few years ago. Here's hoping it goes well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The War Nerd Dispatches by Gary Brecker. Full disclosure, Gary Brecker is the nom de plume of John Carroll Dolan. So this book, if you want the world to be better than it is just the best depression sandwich you could serve yourself. But frankly, that's precisely the reason I think it's worth reading. I'm not going to run around and say that every single claim made in this book is 100% I stand behind every, you get the picture. At the same time, a lot of what this guy is saying rings true. And I want to separate what he's saying from how he's saying it, because frankly, how he says things, well, first of all, it's fascinating, it's funny, it's colorful. Again, I wish most of my history books had been written half as interestingly as this book was written. Also, I find myself deeply unsettled by the way a lot of things are said, okay? That being said, a lot of the things he's saying really hit the mark. So please, if you're going to read this, if you're going to listen to it, please listen to it like an adult. Like this book, this is a book that will trigger people. That doesn't make the core content wrong. Oh, that didn't quite tell you what the book is about. It's about wars. And not just the famous wars. It's about, basically it's a breakdown on every continent of how wars have been conducted and of different wars and why wars are fought. This was a book on my husband's shelf. I think he recommended it to me and I can't remember why, but he was right too. I was very nervous to read it and I think I could not read it on like my bad days, but it was good. It was definitely worth the read. Right, so if I remember correctly, what this book meant to me is I would very much like to believe that at heart, people's cultures are not that different from each other, that we all want the same things, that what we really want is peace and security and family and love. And this book kind of took a wrecking ball to that. I think that when you look at the world, it is important to try and see it as it actually is and not how you want it to be. And after reading this book, I kind of came to realize how arrogant it is to believe that deep down everybody just wants the same thing I do because the world revolves around me and what I want. It's actually pretty arrogant. Just because I find what other people may want to be distasteful doesn't mean that they don't want that. Now, who they are and what they want, that changes, and sometimes it is more like what I want and sometimes it is less like what I want. And that does vary, and that's something that needs to be examined on a case-by-case basis. But just the whole big idea of everybody wants what I want, no, it came in like a wrecking ball. Oh, I should also probably note that I've never read the Kindle edition, which looks like it has about 30 more pages than the paperback, which came out earlier. So, yeah, there'd be about 30 pages of blind reading here, I guess, which is why it's called the War Nerd Dispatches. Okay, so the War Nerd Dispatches is specifically the Kindle edition that is more recent, while the War Nerd was the paperback book, which I don't have. Welcome to the War Nerd. I hope you enjoy your depression sandwich. Many of these chapters will probably be behind an 18+ wall. We'll see which ones need that as we go. And that's why I'm reading this book.